What is up? What is up? What is up? What is cracking? It's your baby mama's favorite cousin, cousin T-Taw. And today we have yet a yeah, we get that repeat back. Today we have an amazing topic. Once again, we are going to be discussing settling down versus choosing up. And really, just really briefly, before we get into the topic more fully, to recognize how important this knowledge, this information, this wisdom, the experience that we are having and teaching, promoting, practicing, and learning this thing that we call game. It is an essential part of mastery. Now, in tonight's conversation, we are going to be delving into one of the most important aspects of understanding where you stand with the type of person that you desire to acquire a mating situation with, a dating situation with, and especially a relating situation with. Because at the end of the day, who wants to be settled on, right? Who wants to be second, third, fourth, fifth choice, right? And in this thing that we call game, we use the term being chosen. And you see the difference between, even with the language, settling down versus choosing up. And so tonight, we're going to delve deep into this particular topic. But first, before we go any further, let me reintroduce you to none other than the man, the myth, the legend, General Rom Wills. Everybody, just let's understand it. Absolutely, absolutely. Here we go.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Can you hear me okay?
I think they got you. I think they got you. I can
All
hear you loud and
right, all
clear.
right. We don't have any echoes, anything like that, right?
Nope, loud and clear,
All
nice,
right.
nice and neat. But first, let's shout out to the early arrivers. As always, Little Rock was good with you.
Yeah,
Luther,
what's up? What's up, man?
Luther. We always want to say Luther because Luther Vandross. Luther. So salute to the teachers. Salute to you. Truth Sayer 3000. Let's go. Absolutely, let's do it. Tristan Fitness. Salute to the masters. How you feeling? How you feeling?
What's up? What's up,
Kenneth
man?
Young, greetings, repping the
What's up?
DMV.
What's up,
And
brother?
of course, it says Ahmad Dante, Fieldmaster. What's happening? What's happening? What's good with you? Shout out to everybody who is arriving on time and early for this thing that we call game. Now, Rom, would you say that the majority of people who find themselves in a relationship, would you say that the majority of people settle or choose the person and the type of dynamic that they
I'm gonna
find
tell you
themselves
what, man. Let's just be real. Most of them are settling. Most of them are
in?
selling, particularly the women.
Mm.
Particularly the women. Now the men think they choosing up, and they might well be, but the women are settling. I would say the overwhelming majority of women don't want to be with the men they get with, but he was what was available. He
Mm.
was right there. And see, I would tell her, that's why I would always joke around, talk about the my bad man. I would talk
Mhm.
about many of these, like when that guy is available, they would get him. See, a lot of these women, here's the issue. A lot of these guys think, well, we got control. We making that woman like do something. But if you chasing that woman and she ain't choosing you, then she only selling for you if you get her. So
Mhm.
the majority, like a man, is chasing that woman, and then that might be a real choice for him. But for the woman, she just like, oh, okay, he likes me, he's cool, he's whatever. I mean, I wish I had the proverbial dime for how many times a woman has straight up told me or said, the man she walked down the aisle with, the man she dealing with, and she might have kids with. I'm saying might because paternity fraud.
Mm.
Have kids with is just somebody that who was right there, but it's not really the man she want. Only a small percentage of women actually get the man that they really want. So that's why a lot of women even think about the language. See, settling down. Like if you listen to the language of women, listen to how they will talk. If you get a chance, listen to how they talk about the men that they with. Now, if they talking about, yeah, I did this, I cooked this dinner, I fixed up, they chose that man. But if they were just around and say, well, yeah, he keep calling, he kept doing all
Mm.
this, let me give him a chance. Boom, they settling. So
So
a lot of men might think, yeah, I did all this to get the woman. But like I always say, double back home one day. Double back home one day. Cause a lot of these women be cheating. A lot of
mm.
these women be cheating. A lot of these women, they'll deal with a man because that's all that was there. And, they'll be that good wife or something. But then the guy that they actually choosing, he doing them doggy style and some other stuff.
So in your opinion and in your extensive experience, what would you say, and let's bring it back, let's bring it to modern times. What would you say is the percentage of women who settle down nowadays as opposed
Honestly,
to yes, who
honestly,
settle down? Yes.
I put it in the 90 percentile. In my
90.
book, in my book, Sexual Chemistry, I said maybe 2% of women get the man that they actually want. See, I'm
Wow.
gonna tell you something now, man, and this it's a sad thing because a lot of men are really they really thinking they really doing something. They really thinking they getting something, but the women don't really want them. See, there's certain men that the women want. And that's where you want to get. In fact, that's what my whole philosophy is about, being the man that women want. But see, a lot of guys, they chasing some woman down, because she pretty, she fine, she got that progression,
Mm.
she pretty, got the face card,
Rom, you said progression. What?
Yo, yeah. Oh
Wait.
yeah.
What's all that movement back there?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they fine. And you get some guys, they in fact they'll even ask you sometimes, what can I do to get her? I was like, she chasing you, dog. If you doing
Mm.
all that work, she really don't want you. And see, many a woman, they'll settle with the guy, deal with them until they get the guy they want. Like I remember a woman, she was with this guy for a couple years.
Mhm.
But then this guy that she really wanted all of a sudden became available. She dropped that other guy like a hot potato. But see, the guy that she really wanted, he was nothing but a player anyway. Had the women
Wow.
telling me about how they were getting with him.
Right.
They were like, "Oh yeah, I sucked his dick." I was like, "What the fuck?" Shit.
Right. Okay,
Excuse
then now
my language, but I'm just being real with it. See, a lot of guys, even when I say women choose, a lot of guys will fight me on it. See, I
mm,
understand a player understand that, a pimp would understand that, but a
right.
lot of guys they want to believe that they chasing a woman, but see a woman, if you spending money on her, you doing all this, they'll let you do something. And they'll do that with a lot of guys, but let that guy she really want just cross her path or really just return that text. All of a sudden, it's over.
Interesting. So, Rom, you said in your opinion and observation, about 90% of women who are
I'm being,
entering
ge- I'm being generous, really,
are are
more
actually
than that.
settling down. So settling
Yeah.
for the man that they've wound up or ended up with. And you said that
Yeah.
2% actually choose up on the man that they
Well,
actually
yeah,
desire.
yeah. I mean, they choose, yeah, because we just gotta be real with it. women only want a small if they only want a small percentage, and it ain't no child or anything like that. But if you really talk with some women, it's like I always say, if they go in a room full of 100 men, the women might see 6 of them.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying 6, and now 10 of them. I'm just seeing that number right there. That just came across. Maybe even 6.
Right.
They only seeing a few of those men, because when I've talked with many women,
Mhm.
and you'd be surprised how many like very attractive women out here don't have a man, because they only want a few. Now, this don't mean you gotta look like Mr. Pretty Boy or anything like that, because every woman got their choice. But and one of the things that women are doing nowadays is they just being picky. They don't need that guy for money. See, one thing back in the day, women used to deal with that man who was willing to take care of him for survival.
Right.
They
Right.
they you know they you know they weren't able to get their own credit cards in their own name until the 70s.
Mhm.
They couldn't get their own home. So, if a guy was showing some interest, they had to deal with him. But even back in the day, as soon as they walked out that door, it'd be the guy coming through over the back fence. It'd
Right.
be that milkman. That's where that saying came from. Is it his baby or is it the milkman's baby?
Mhm. And what's interesting is with the remainder of that 8%, approximately out of 100, would you say that more women are choosing to remain single,
Um,
rather than settle down?
yeah, I would say that that's one of the things that's happening now, because I know some very attractive women, like some young girls, like women in their 20s. They be telling me some stuff because, I know how to get them comfortable. I
Mhm.
mean, like, I'd never forget, like, there were a couple young women in their 20s around New Year's Eve, and I was like, y'all hanging out? They were like, no. They were all, I mean, they fine as shit. They were they tight ass body.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, what's up? And one of them, like, I mentioned one at the gym. One of them, I was trying to hook her up with somebody at the gym. And I was
Right.
trying to hook her up. She fine as shit. I'd be seeing her from across the world. I was like, God damn, total fineness and stuff.
So
This
what's
other one,
interesting.
I've known her for 3 years. I had mentioned her to you. And I finally
Uh-huh.
saw some on her IG. Some dude, he hugged up with her for his birthday. I was like,
Uh-oh.
oh, okay, go ahead, girl. You finally found somebody.
So no, indeed. So women are more so willing to wait longer, before
Yeah,
actually committing
nowadays.
to a relationship.
Y- Nowadays, but really, I'm gonna tell you what, those are really the more attractive women, the more
Mm,
beautiful women. Because, if that woman like a natural 5 or something, she probably gotta take who she can take. Even a
okay.
Foxy 4, they gotta take who they can take. Like the women who can be the choosiest are the women 7 and up. They can be as picky as they want to be, because they got more of a choice. They got guys constantly throwing that at them. Now you get some guy thinking, well, what can I do to beat them out? Well, nothing really. They the ones who choose the most. Now, if you want that woman that you can choose, well, let's just say she might not be that pretty. She might have an unfortunate face and a body of a water buffalo.
Indeed. Well, we're gonna get to the men in just a moment, but just really trying to get a good understanding of why the majority of women who are in relationships who have opted to be in relationships nowadays are settling down. And
Um,
go ahead. What's factoring into that besides?
it could be class. It could
Mhm.
be because you still have an energy out there where women expect to be married or something. So it could be their social class. It could be their religion. It could be depending on the subculture they in. Um, some might just do it for survival. Some
Mhm.
might do it for survival. Like when you get women who like social class, like maybe they working class or something. They need to survive. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, this dude doing this, this, and this. Let me, settle with him.
Mm.
But I would tell him strongly, they have a baby or something. Make sure they test the baby out for, that
Paternity, yeah.
paternity. Yeah. Double back home sometime. And indeed, sometimes a woman might just want to settle. Because I remember this one guy, and he was just chasing this woman, chasing this woman. She was messing with all these other guys, and he finally got the woman. And I was like, "You sure that's your baby?" He pushing around that baby carriage or something. And it was like, oh, I don't know, because if she really wants you, because if a woman choose you, you don't have to worry about it. Shoot, she gonna make it easy as hell for you if she choose you.
Right. Now let's touch on the women who are choosing up.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
what do the men what's the caliber of men that women usually choose up for?
Well, okay. First of all, physical appearance matter, but it's not one particular one because women they got a range. Some women, yeah, they want that ASP. Some women want that roughneck. Some women want that more what you would call that naturally built man. Everyone got something different, so it's a physical thing. Turn them on sexually. That's one thing. But he also has to be sharp, otherwise has to be I would like in the DC area, the East Coast, we use the term thorough.
Mhm.
He has to hit them on many levels because they can, especially if they find. Because like if the woman is attractive, she's 7 and up. We use that number system, right? She don't
Mhm.
have to put up with any bullshit with anybody. She
Mm.
she don't have to. She don't have to wait. Cause she got about 50 or so men trying to holler at her every day, coming for her, chasing her around. So she can be picky. In fact, that's the best way to get them. That's the really only way to get them. You can't really chase them. You got to see what they trying to do to get you. And trust me, they still got working vaginas, so they want a man. So they see one thing with women, they always comparing men to each other.
Mm.
See, that's the thing. They always going to compare. So you got to just be thorough enough that they want to be with you. They want to chase you. They
Okay.
shoot. They don't even cook, but they'll take a cooking lesson or at least pretend like they hooking you up with something.
Yeah. I've met a few lawyers who could not cook worth a damn, but
Hmm.
once they got hit with that ASP Holy Ghost, um, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
uh, pots and pans got to rattling. Okay, pots and
Oh
pans
yeah.
got to
Yeah.
rattling.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and see, they gotta want something. See, that's one of the things when you talk and the like the women who can choose the best, like I said, attractive, or even if they're foxy four, they got that killer body, the sexiest.
mhm.
They gonna do something like men who are truly select, men who are masculine masters, men who are true ASPs, whatever term you want to use, a Mr. Goodbar. They used to a woman chasing them, no matter what it is.
Yes, and chasing and choosing,
Yeah.
and so with that, let's shift over to the men. What percentage of men would you say settle down?
Most men, most men.
So if
I
if
would
it's
say
if
the
it's 90% of women, what would
most men settle. No, no, no. Wait a minute. I'm getting that wrong. They ain't settling. They choosing.
mm,
Um, what percentage of men would settle?
settle down?
Um, only a tiny percent because they looking at it like they trying to get the woman. So
That's an
they
interesting
trying
point.
to they trying to get the woman. So how many would settle? Because a select man, he don't have to settle. He can if he want. He pretty much get who he going to get.
So let's think about this, and
Um,
I think it's interesting that the numbers would be different,
I got to
right?
think about that number. Yeah, it would be different because most men they putting that woman on a pedestal. That's the woman they wanted. So I would say a small percentage. So if I say 90%, and I'm being generous when I say 90, it was really closer to 98%. But I would say the amount of men who actually settle, yeah, we could throw out 10% for now because, like I said, the
Settle down.
overwhelming majority of men, in my view, ain't settling and they ain't choosing up. They ain't getting the woman they want. Because let's think about it like this. How many men, if men are getting the women they want, most of them going to want that fine ass woman, that pretty ass woman and stuff.
Okay. So,
And really, 92, just real quick, this
yeah,
dude
go for it.
got 93 octanes. That's really 92 octanes. And one thing with them, most of those are corporate women.
Right.
And they'll deal with a corporate man, but that's usually dealing with the image and stuff. Like
Right.
the real women who are like fine as hell, those are 100 octanes, the ones getting those ballers or something. And even some of those men with money, sometimes they might settle depending on the woman. I don't know. To see, that's an interesting question. What would
Right.
you answer to that?
Now, yes, I well, thank you for updating known and unknown 666. Shout out to you, by the way, unknown. It is the 92 octane. This is according to the Massachusetts BGS Itmore's octane scale of social class expressions. In my opinion, and in my
Mm-hmm.
observation, um, I would see that in terms of the men who are in relationships, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got a lot of men who don't even make it to relationships. So, the
Mm-hmm.
in my observation and in my opinion, I would say a majority of men who are in relationships have settled down
Okay. Okay.
because, especially nowadays, right? When
Okay.
women, like you said, women don't have to be in a relationship in order to survive, right?
Mhm.
So like you said as well, there are a lot of factors that go into it in terms of
Yeah.
cultural values, religious upbringing,
Mhm.
class, because those are factors in a person's choice of social mobility.
Okay.
And a marriage is a form of social mobility, how people navigate
Yeah. Okay.
their respective culture, the social landscape as a whole, and how they achieve whatever their goals are in terms of family creation, wealth generation, and so on.
Mhm.
So the thing about it is, and this is why I say that a majority of men who have opted to be in relationships often settle down
Okay.
is because um, they they want consistency. Most men
Mhm.
want consistency. Uh,
Okay.
that in-house poom poom, that in-house Virgin, right? Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want upward mobility within their respected career or
Okay.
vocation. You know how it is with 92 octane social circles,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially with if you're in the corporate space, and
Mhm.
depending on what industry you're in,
Mhm.
you're seen as more marketable to potential clients if you have a family. And
Yeah.
I actually have a story for that. Of
Okay.
course, I'm going to change a few details, right, to protect the innocent. But back in the day, in one of my 10,000 jobs,
Mhm.
um, at the point when right before I got married and during the process of being engaged, I was in sales. Okay. And
Mhm.
it was a corporate space, it was the office. All right, which is why I'm very familiar with the Office fuck file. Um,
Mhm.
and we had clients that we had to go make service calls to at their offices. So we would, I would leave my office and go, to a client office to support the product, right?
Mhm.
The clients would ask me if I were married before
Mm.
choosing whether or not to um, uh, accept business roles with the company.
Okay.
This is because, and I later found out why this was okay, and this also factors into this entire conversation. When they found out that I was engaged to be married and I was going to be married soon, they wound up bringing their business over to us because they
Okay.
figured that once I'm married, I have uh, a huge responsibility. I've now started a family, so of course I'm going to be loyal to the account or to the business in order to continue to be able to support my family. So
Mm.
they were basing the business relationship on whether or not I seem stable in my own life.
Yeah, okay.
So I understand that for men, there are a lot of factors externally in terms of why they would settle down or
Okay.
select to get married or tie themselves to a committed relationship. Now,
Okay.
on the other side of that, I say for men as well, it's a smaller percentage who actually choose up.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's not necessarily for the same reason why women do it.
Yeah.
Because if a man has the ability to choose, he has the ability to manage multiple relationship dynamics. He doesn't have to settle down with any one woman.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking about as you were talking, because that's mainly my social circle, like the more advanced men.
Mm,
Even though, yeah, I've done some consultations with guys all over. The men I know are mainly those select men who can deal with whatever woman they want to deal with, you know,
right.
of it on their terms. So that's why that was hard for me to really answer that question. But you gave me a good perspective on it, which I think, yeah, because yeah, I could see that. But like I said, most of the men that I know about, and usually when they did choose or something, it's after the woman chose them. That's one thing
Mm,
I talk about.
that's a
I was
very good
like,
point.
because as men, even when a woman chooses you, that's when your choice comes into the picture.
Right.
That's when your choice come in. She chooses you, but just because she choose you don't mean you choose her back. Like in my book, Nice Guys and Players, I talk about women choosing, but nobody's holding a gun to your head. That just means you got control over the situation. So that's how I'm looking at it. But then you had a good point, about men settling and stuff.
Right. And I think that when we have these conversations and
Hmm.
why we promote game
Yeah,
as a choice of social strategy, as a type of philosophy for a man to build
yeah,
his thought process around, is
yeah,
because what game allows you to do is have a strategy and have options because it allows
yeah,
you to view the landscape more broadly than with just a narrow-minded traditional vanilla lens, you see?
yeah, yeah,
And what game actually allows or affords the man the opportunity to do is to present his best self,
yeah.
is to refine his intangibles,
Yes,
is
yes,
to be able to display his value proposition across a broader spectrum of women
I
than
like that.
do
I like
men
that.
who don't have this thing that we call game.
Hey,
And
hey, yeah.
and
Go
when you
ahead.
have these you know, elements in your toolkit, then you are spoiled for choice, literally.
Yeah.
And once you pair that with alternative relationship dynamics, meaning, let's be clear, okay, just to be upfront, we talk about the player, we talk about having rosters.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I come from the perspective of polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, polycule dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I still coach, mentor, and develop the type of men who want a more traditional monogamous relationship dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
because the tools that you have, specifically the ones that I provide men in the realm of seduction, are applicable in monogamous relationships as much as they are in polyamorous relationships. The tools that we provide men in terms of his ability to recognize himself, his
Mm-hmm.
ability to develop his masculinity, his ability to understand what his cash value is.
Yes.
Cash, CASH, right? His commodifiable attributes, skills, and habits. All of
Mm-hmm.
those are transferable in both the monogamous space and the polyamorous space.
Yeah.
You see, at the core of what we do as game coaches and mentors is provide our mentees and our clients with as many tools, as many skill sets, as many options as they possibly can have, so that they can make the best decision for the world that he has built.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
see? And this goes for men from 18 to 88 and
Yeah.
beyond, because and this is why it's important to enlist a coach that has the experience and the maturity and the wisdom that having gone through relationship types affords you, right? Being married, having rosters, being in a polyamorous dynamic, being in a monogamous dynamic. How did you navigate that? What
Mm-hmm.
were your takeaways? What did you see in the women that you chose? Right,
Mm-hmm.
Ram. I'm going to ask you a question. You ready for the question?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Ram, have you ever settled down into a relationship? Uh-oh. I look, I try to get you targeted. Now look.
Nah, I ain't never need to, man. I ain't never need to, man. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what, man. One of the things that I teach is having those options. Because first of all, I understand women choose. So I don't I never had to chase or settle or whatever. Now the women that I oblige back, shout out to the Honorable Pimp God.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Listen,
That's
listen.
right.
Shout
The,
out to the
the
pimp guy.
women the women I oblige back, they were always good with me. Cause even like now, even with my co-parent, right? I mean, she was stopping traffic and stuff. She was stopping traffic, so she was really she was fun. And the Honorable Pimp God, he's seen some of the women that I deal with. I don't go for that like receipt thing, sharing it with the public, but he knows what type of women I've been with and what type I would deal with, and they fine,
Yes, indeed.
but they would have to like be someone who obliged my needs, who took care of whatever my needs were. But I ain't had to put up with some because there was some women who were choosing. I look at them like, nah.
Mm.
So I ain't never had to settle or just be with a woman just to say be with a woman. Shoot, she had to be sexy as hell. She had to be fine. She had to be fine. She had to be something that was good for me. So I wouldn't settle because see, just even saying the term settle. it means like, oh, okay, let me just deal with her because I'm just going to deal with her. And it's unfortunate many people have to do that. But see, the position I was in, I never had to do that. I was
Mm,
shooting. Yeah, I was shoot. I would recognize I was chosen and then just deal with it from there.
yes,
And
indeed.
trust me, there's a lot of stuff I can't even say I can't say publicly, but trust me, I was able to get I was able to get what what I wanted to get, even to this day, even to this minute, really.
Right.
I mean, even to this minute, and I'm a 61-year-old man, but really, as you would say, 18 to 88 or 18 to 80, whatever number you say. But
Absolutely.
shoot, I know some guys, they doing their thing and they in their 70s.
Yes, indeed. Once again, shout out to the Honorable Pimp
You know
God.
it's hard out here for a pimp.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget to get the likes up, everybody, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, bless the T-Tal Tabernacle and bless Ram's information at the bottom of the screen. Now, those who would like to have a question answered, feel free to place them down below before we move forward with this ism. Okay. Now,
Mm-mm.
first, we have this question, Isaiah, and don't forget to send those super chats. We love those
Yeah, definitely bless you.
as well.
I gotta bless cousin T Tall because
Uh,
you ain't gonna get this level of game
absolutely not.
outside of this space right here. This is some space.
Listen, but you know what?
Because you got cousin T Tall, the Honorable Pimp got to get on here. I mean, shoot, we've had my nephew Afi Kingdom get on here. Yeah,
Yes,
I need to bless him, keep him going. Shoot.
and more to come. Let's be honest. But before I move off of Pimp God's comment, for those who are simply listening to the stream, this is what he chose to bless us with. He said, "Women choose, men oblige, based upon his needs." Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay. Let's appreciate the fact that a lot of people who are dealing with pedestrian pursuits, we'll just call it that way,
Hmm.
don't even have the mindset of what Pimp God just presented. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why these streams are important. You've got three coaches who bring unique perspectives to this space.
Yeah.
And the ultimate value that those who are listening, those who are going to replay this, and those who will pay attention to the clips then thereafter, is the value of an expanded uh, view on the mating, dating, and relating landscape. So once again, shout out to the Honorable Pimp God for that. First question here, Isaiah B asked, how would an advanced man know if he's better suited for traditional monogamy or polygamy? Now, so first of all, I'm assuming that you mean polygyny and or polyamory. Okay.
Yeah.
But this question is a coaching session question because there's a lot of background information that's needed. What your relationship is with sex, what is your relationship with yourself, what types of relationship have you been exposed to, what's
Mhm.
your social background, what's your religious background, what are your cultural influences. There's so many things that go into that particular question, but I would say
Yeah.
really briefly, if I would just to look at this question on its surface and answer it, I would say that an attractive man is certainly suited for polyamory slash polygyny slash
Mhm.
ethical non-monogamy. But that's because the type of man that's attractive, is going to be attractive across a spectrum of women, but also it depends on his prowess. Can he manage multiple dynamics? You know, is he built, so to speak? How's his stamina? Does he work
Mhm.
out? all of these are very real factors that we discuss with our clients on a regular basis. And we have to be honest with, you know, what we explain to our clients, because their outcomes depend on their mindset. Their outcomes depend on how they approach this thing we call game. What would you say
Yeah.
to this question, Rob?
Well, that's the same thing. I would just say his needs, what his needs are, and I would definitely say you just going into the different factors, his religion, his needs in life, where he's at. You would have to get into it. Just on the surface, though, I would just say his particular needs, and can he handle that? Like if you're talking about polygyny or polyamory, you're dealing with multiple women. You're dealing with their emotional set. Can you handle that? Because that's one thing the pimps will do. The pimps, they dealing with shoot, they dealing with the emotional side of a lot of these women. Can you deal with that? They all want your attention. They all want that D. So you gotta be in good shape too. There's a lot of things you gotta look at with that. The
That's
thing
right.
is, if you're going to deal with multiple women, are they you can't just be like just working hard all day and taking care of them. They just sitting around. What are they bringing to the table? Because you could have different factors with them. You might have one, she's more that you dealing with for business. And then you might have another one, yeah, she just that sex thing. In fact, in many parts of the world, you'll have like the first wife, they'll get the hot young, pretty young thing for their husband because they want to do business more. They want to get into all of that, but they realize their husbands still need to be taken care of. So they're the ones they'll bring that extra woman in. So it depends, but it's a lot of factors.
No, that was a very good point that you mentioned in terms of income.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more important aspects of polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, in having a roster
Mm-hmm.
is that the mentality of the type of man who can manage that dynamic is that he's not paying for access. He's
Mm-hmm.
not paying for access, meaning that especially if he's dealing with a woman who is a high earner, his value supersedes monetary value. And that's hard for a lot of men in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of spaces to even listen to, let alone receive, absorb, process, and uh, apply. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because most men are used to paying for access to women in
Mm.
various ways, but in the most basic way, monetarily paying for access to women through dates, through gifts, through fluting her out, all of those things. But when you're dealing with the type of man who has this thing that we call game, meaning he has the level of self-awareness. He
Yeah.
knows what his value sets are, his value proposition, including his
Mm.
masculinity, his
Mhm.
intelligence, his wise decision making, his leadership skills, the world that he's already built. A, a woman who recognizes that will gladly, enthusiastically bring her wealth, bring her salary, however you want to say it, bring her resources to the table and offer it to him because he understands or she understands that under his leadership it's all going to be managed properly and it's all going to be used ultimately for her uplift and for the accomplishment and achievement of his mission. And that
Mhm.
is why when a woman recognizes that she's in the presence of a masculine master, she immediately submits to his mission. And
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
is in all of the various areas and domains of
Mhm.
her value proposition. Does
Mhm.
she bring femininity to the space? Does she bring submission? Does she bring emotional regulation? Does she bring the nurturing skill set? Does she bring the ability to cooperate with his operation? right?
Mhm.
Those are feminine value adds. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
shout out to you for that question. Shout out to Kenneth. Let me get this right. Appreciate that. Appreciate
Thank
that
you,
for getting
brother.
us started.
Thank you.
Salute. Shout out to you, you masters of game. No doubt, we appreciate that. So, in moving forward with this particular topic, I will say, and shout out to Rom for answering that question honestly. Have you ever settled? Now, here's here's my thing. Here's my thing.
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
Because you don't often go in.
Let's just say this. Let's just say this, because I had to think hard.
Mhm.
And every woman I've dealt with, she was bringing something, if she chose. Because there were some women I've rejected. I ain't settled for them. They ain't like, oh, she the only one. It was like it was always something. Even one woman I settled, well, I shouldn't say settled, but dealt with. She was choosing hard, but she wasn't all that. But she was a good sex partner.
Mhm.
She was a good sex partner, so she brought that, but I ain't had to take her out. I ain't to spend money on her, anything like that, right? Because she served a purpose. She served a purpose. Every single woman I've dealt with, and I've been there, every one I dealt with, especially intimately, they brought something in, and it was never like, oh, okay, let me just deal with her, because I could say for myself anyway, it's never been a situation where I would just have to deal with a woman just because nobody else was. See, that's
Mhm.
how I'm seeing settling.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, nobody else was. There was always an option. And see, that's what we teach is. See, that's one of the things. Because as I always say, every single man can get a few women. Every single man can get 10 women, but
Yes.
he wants to develop himself so he can get 20, he can get 30. He can have options no matter what. He can say, hold up, I don't have to deal with her. I can deal with her, or I can call her, whatever. And they all choosing. See, that's another thing. Understand, when you being chosen by the woman, that gives you power. See, when you chasing a woman and you choosing up on her, you got to play by whatever her rules are. But when she's choosing you, she got to play by your rules.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, indeed. Salute to Andre. Appreciate that. Got here late. Shout out to you both. Absolutely. Remember, everybody, get the likes up. Definitely
Mm,
forward this to someone who you know can benefit from this. Is and what do we have
You
here?
know it's hard out here
All
for a
right, here we go. Here we go. Pimp Jeezy says, "The bigger the purpose, the bigger the stable." His
yeah.
thought, absolutely, absolutely. Salute to you on that. This is top tier, man. This is like,
Well, no, Pimp Jeezy ain't no joke. I mean, that's why I call him the honorable pimp god. People don't, you know what? Y'all don't realize how powerful that brother is. He ain't no joke. I mean, seriously. And anybody who go to him for something, you getting something. And then, when it's Pimp Jeezy and Cousin T-Tar doing something together, I'm right there.
listen,
I'm right there, because understand something. When you get somebody like Cousin Tito, when you get somebody like myself, when you get somebody like the Honorable Pimp God, we taking it to another level, because I'm seeing a lot of guys out here suffering. I mean, it is pitiful in my view. It's pitiful. It's like, wait a minute, it's only a small percentage of men who are really able to deal with women on their terms. And that's pitiful in my view, because I'm like, these women out here thirsty. If you really pay attention to these women, shoot, they want that man. In fact, they want a top tier man, a masculine master, whatever, so badly they'll share him. All that
yes.
man had to do is make sure that they satisfy him. Because yeah, ultimately they will want to keep that man to themselves, but if they can't, they'll share him. I've talked with some women about that. They willing to share as long as that man is making them happy doing something. You
Gladly.
know?
They will gladly share. Uh,
Yeah.
salute to, let's see, is that Psych 589? We appreciate that. Shout out to you.
Because
Go
well,
ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say something.
Oh no, absolutely. No, we appreciate all of the donations to the T-Talk Tabernacle. Psych
Yes.
8589 says peace. Certainly
Mhm.
peace to you. And let's see. Salute to you once again, Andre. He said PG tax. Oh man, that's it. We appreciate that as well. Now, say what you were going to say. If it's still on your mind, Ron, because I'm going to start hitting some of these questions.
Well, the thing is, you want to be in a position where you are powerful to the point you can live your life, but you still getting the women. You're not looking down on them because women, by their nature, enhance what a man is doing. And women, by their nature, even these so-called independent women, want to serve a man because they want to serve that masculine energy. They
Right.
want to be there for that, you know? That's the important thing. But see, as a man, you got to get to that point. See, that's where we trying to get you. Like when I'm talking about body game or something, that's just the foundation. You still got to be able to talk to them. You still got to be doing all this. And the key is it got to be about whatever mission you on. See, that's when I say you want that woman who's going to be in submission to your mission. Now, I
Yes,
don't
indeed.
mean she's just going to be some woman who's going to be some doormat, but a woman who want to help you out. There's been some women who helped me. I've never met them in person. I've
Mhm.
never met them in person. I would just talk with them, but they put some money in my pocket. And I could call some names of some women who've been in some videos, video
Mhm.
vixen types.
Mhm.
And they'll say, hey, you need to do this, or I can do this for you.
Yes, indeed. Let's look at this question real quick. What is advice? This is a quick one. What is advice you've gave to men through your combined years of coaching when building up your sexual confidence? Because if you have women who are choosing you, but you ain't making that move, you want to touch that first, Ron? Because I got a real quick answer for this one.
I'll let you go first. Let me think about that one.
So, with questions like this, why coaching sessions are beneficial is because I get to talk to you. I get to see you during the meeting. I get to understand how you speak. I get to ask you specific questions because I know you want to make this question general, right? But it's going to vary by the man. We can give you the
Yeah.
the topical answer, stand up straight, hit the gym, get the best body for your frame and your height. Get your scent game on point. Get your scent game on point. Shout out to the ASP Holy Ghost.
Mhm.
Enchante. Understand what your wardrobe should look like if you got custom made or tailored clothing for different social situations that you may find yourself in. But one of the things that I focus on with uh, particular coaching clients is what I refer to as, their impact statements. Okay. Personal, professional, and intimate impact statements. And this is going to be specific to each and every man because it's going to include your lifestyle activities. It's going to include your interests. It's going to include how you flirt and what you bring to the intimate space. And it's also going to include what you do as a vocation, as a trade, and or professionally. So when you have those in your tool set as a part of your tool set, making the first move is as simple as noticing the type of woman that you desire to acquire an
Yeah.
intimate and special experience with.
Yeah. And I agree with everything cousin T-Taw had just laid down because you really do have to build yourself up. But see, one of the things though, if women are choosing you, that can build up your sexual confidence too. Because when women are choosing you, they can be very aggressive.
Right.
Women are very aggressive. I
Very,
mean,
very blunt, very
very,
direct.
very. I mean,
You want to
like
talk about
one
mode one?
woman, man, shoot, because it's a totally different world when women are truly choosing you. I mean, the most minimal thing they'll do is put themselves in your path.
Right.
But sometimes they'll just tell you straight up what they going to do. Or, they'll be more aggressive, come over your place, don't have any, have a trench coat on and nothing underneath. Have you come under, go over to their place. You go on a date with them. I think I mentioned that before. Went on a date with this woman. I'm sitting in her living room. She go in the bathroom, come out in some lingerie, that
Mm-hmm.
lingerie.
Absolutely.
I
What's all that
mean,
movement back
because
there?
yeah, because if you build up yourself, the women going to do the work. Women, they going to be super aggressive with you. That's why I say these women are thirsty out here. These women are thirsty. So if you build yourself up, the women coming to you.
Absolutely. Shout out to none known and unknown. We appreciate that.
And let me address what this young man is saying.
Yeah.
He said,
Well, right. So we don't mention the S word on live streams. We say self deletion. So,
yeah,
you want me to read it real quick? I can read it real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Go ahead.
Salute to you for the dub. We appreciate that. None unknown 666. He says, men's self deletion rates have increased. Mental health is just as important. I'm sure he's saying men's mental health is just as important as women's health gain. Most reason for self deletion coincides with the woman, divorce, cheating, etc.
Well,
Truly, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Truly
Finish.
not good for a man to be alone. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ron.
but see, here's the thing though. These men are normally non-select. The women ain't choosing up on them. And they might think what society is trying to tell them, oh, you can do this and that and get the woman. And that's not really happening. That's why you need to listen to brothers like Cousin T Talk. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You need to listen to the pimp God. We telling you how to have that power. We telling you how these women going to choose up on you. See, one of the issues with that is a lot of these men, they really not getting the right information.
Correct.
They are not getting the right information. They thinking it's some old school stuff, which really wasn't old school, but what people used to think, oh yeah, if I paid buy this woman dinner and all of this and chase this woman, she should want me. No, build yourself up so the woman coming for you. Build yourself up so she's choosing on you. See, that's the issue with a lot of these guys, unfortunately. But see, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell you how it really is. We giving you the perspective of the masculine master, of Mr. Goodbar, of the ASP. We telling you what works out here, that the woman is going to be coming for you no matter what. I mean,
Absolutely.
seriously, and it doesn't end. Like I've had some guys that hit me up and say, "Well, it's 32 layers." Like, no, now, I'm a 61-year-old man. When I had my medical emergency,
Mm-hmm.
I had some women in the hospital doing something. I had some women wanted to fly out to help me out,
Mm-hmm.
checking me out. Yeah, yeah, man. These weren't no ugly women. Shoot, I'm 61 years old. Got at least one woman. Shoot, all I had to do was say, yeah, you know what? I'll give you a baby, and she'd be down. She fine as shit too.
Hmm.
But see, that's the thing. A lot of these guys, they non-select. They they not listening to the men like us. They not putting into action what we're saying, what we're telling them. Because if you're listening to us, and I really mean this, this is saying what our perspective is. You always going these guys going to have more women than they know what to do with. Like I've said several times, If I wanted to be a dirty Mac, I could have married women over here every night.
Mm-hmm.
Married women. And it was like, and what am I doing? I'm just being me, but see, I'm just being me at the highest level. I'm not even shooting. In fact, I'm quiet most of the time. I'm quiet, but I'm carrying myself in such a way, you know?
No, no, absolutely. And to add on to that, why questions like this or questions like these are very important because when you're dealing with men who actually research these topics,
Mhm.
we in private group settings, we bring statistics, we bring demographics, we
Mhm.
bring sociological research,
Mhm.
and the way this particular question is framed, I would ask you, what population are you looking at when you're
Mhm. Mhm.
forming a question like this? What data what data sets have you looked at? Is it qualitative? Is it quantitative? And basically, one of the things that we do in this space in particular is reinforce the necessity for men to know themselves. You
Mhm.
see, those types of ideations don't start at divorce. Okay,
Mhm.
those types of ideations don't start once a man realizes that he's been cheated on.
Mhm.
Those types of thoughts don't happen when a man is alone, quote unquote. We use the terms in his solitude, right? Uh, Pimp God uses the term being in his bliss, right? You see how
Mhm.
that mental dynamic is different with men who have game, because when you have this thing that we call game, you have resources to call upon. You have knowledge of self. You have an appreciation
Yeah.
for self. And more importantly, going back to our particular topic of discussion today, you have the ability to choose the type of woman that you desire to acquire a relationship with. And what that means is that you're going to properly vet her, right?
Mhm.
No person is perfect. No one is
No.
going to make, all the perfect decisions. You could get with someone who is compatible, someone who loves her dirty draws, and she could
Mhm.
still, walk out on you for whatever reason. Maybe she's having a nervous break, right?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, in the beginning of the next, your love for you, for who you are, for the world that you've built is a part of your mental health.
Mhm.
When you love yourself, you take care of yourself. You have a wellness routine. That is in the beginning of my book, The Seduction Scriptures, having
Mhm.
a mental health routine.
Mhm.
And I am very specific when I break that down in the first portion of my book, that men should be mentally stable enough to manage talking to the type of women that they want to have an intimate exchange with, that they want to have an exchange of experiences with, and especially the type of women that they want to engage with a relationship dynamic with. You see?
Mhm.
So, known and unknown, go ahead, grab a copy of the Seduction Scriptures, go ahead
Mhm.
and go through that, because I do specifically address that topic that you just wrote about. Well, once again, man, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for contributing to the Tea Talk Tabernacle, and we will go ahead with other questions. Don't forget to continue to send your love and your support to Ron Wills' information that's at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and forward the stream to anyone that you know can benefit from this thing we call game. This question right here: how do you know if your wife is more annoying than what should be acceptable in a marriage? Oh, okay, that's a joke. All right. Yeah, that's
Well, I'm gonna tell you what with that. Let me
Yes.
let me just say something to that real quick.
Ah, okay.
If
All right.
if as a man, you should know if you going someplace with a woman. You should know. I don't know. I don't know what your situation is. Are y'all growing? I mean, you should know that. You shouldn't have to ask me or cousin Tito. You the one sleeping with her. You the one knowing what you're doing. Okay, that's all I gotta say with that.
No, absolutely. That's why I think it's lighthearted. Before she wouldn't even make it through the vetting process if you
Hmm.
discovered that there's some type of incongruence or something that's out of alignment with who you are and how you resonate. That's why we talk about the spiritual connection or the
Hmm.
frequency, the aligned frequency that's necessary.
Hmm.
Let's see. There's a good one. I like that. What it do? What it do?
What's up, man? Yeah,
Look,
that
look,
was.
look at this. Look at this. Come on now. Come on.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Shout out to Pimp God. He's just blessing us with these. You know what? Eventually, very soon, we're gonna have a three piece a three piece
Right.
stream, man. It's but we got to build it up because there'll be so much game dispensed in that particular stream. It's got to be an event.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, PG says it is best. It is best a man always shape his own self image. There you
Yes.
go. Men run into problems when they start to look at themselves through a woman's eyes.
Yeah.
Preach. Women are
Mm.
too inconsistent to lay your self image with females. Tell the truth.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
the truth.
The
Talk
Honorable
to these
Pimp
people
God is
today.
always breaking it down.
Absolutely.
The
Talk to these
Honorable
people
Pimp
today.
God is also breaking it down. There was
Because,
somebody I think there was somebody who gave a payment 6.99.
okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
they
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, IG Live 9344. I think that's
uh,
Canadian.
I'll
Canadian, so
let you
Canada.
read that real quick. I have
Uh,
an answer for that from my perspective.
Okay, very cool. It says, do y'all both feel that IG and dating apps both had a reparable effect on men? Let's see. Women's, they're only swipe on 3% of profile. The top 5% of men's actually. Go ahead with that, Ron.
Look, first of all, it's overwhelmingly men on dating apps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you top 5%, you can do your thing. I mean, cousin Tito has said doing his thing. Actually tried that dating app thing a few years ago. Managed to like talk to some women, but most of the women I meet now as an older man, I'm just out and about. That should never be the only thing you going for. Like I said, I meet them at the gym, post office, wherever. Going to different grocery stores, retail stores, whatever. You want to develop yourself where you can attract a woman and they choosing up on you no matter where you go. You can't let one thing harm you just because they swiping. Man, come on now. First of all, you get some women on there swiping and they know it's a like a target rich environment for the women, not so much for the men. So unless you are that 5%, yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. If you're not getting the attention on there, you can't let that mess with you. You can't let that mess with you. Now, if you're in a position where you going out and women ain't paying attention to you or they not giving you that look when you just walking through the grocery store buying some water or something, I mean, that's when you should worry. That's when you should be concerned. But, don't worry about them swiping. That's not the only way to meet women. That is not the only way. In fact, I've never hooked up. I think going back, how many times have I hooked up with a woman just from a dating app?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go back to the '90s, and that was seriously because even when I did some on Bumble just to test it out, but I ain't feel like meeting the women. I talked to them, but I was like, I don't feel like meeting this woman. And
Mm,
they were choosing. So nah, a man should not be too focused on any one way. You can meet a woman any place, you know? Like
yeah.
if I wanted to be trifling just in the area I live in, like women just live in my little complex. I could do that. You can meet a woman any place, no matter what you're doing at the gym.
Mm,
Like I said, I wasn't joking when I said, if I wanted to be a dirty Mac, I get married women over here like a champ. Just working with them or something. Like you want to develop yourself, like no matter what you do, you just out there just chilling. And if you want to be like the highest level man, a woman's going to be there anyway. Now, only way it could be a problem to you or any man is if they thinking that's the only way to meet women. It's
mhm.
like whatever. What's like whatever. And even when I did that Bumble thing, and that was more some me and my nephew did Alfie Kingdom just to try it out. And I ain't even give him a good picture or anything. Still got some attention. And even then, I was like, I don't want to get with none of these women. Talk to them, but I ain't want to get with them. It was just like something to do.
All right.
Even working on some jobs with them, even though I would say don't deal with them on a job, but there's some women they shows up on a job and tore them up.
Mm,
They shoot. Like I don't have a concept of spending money on a woman. This you want to develop yourself so you can meet women any place. Now, if
right.
a man is going to use if just that one area, just that one way to meet women, first of all, that's his big issue. He's limiting himself. He got to think with an abundance mentality.
Mhm.
You can meet women any place. You shoot. I remember taking my car in just to get some work done on the wheels, and there was a fine ass woman in there, like looking and being all friendly and shit. It's just like whatever.
Right.
That's how you want to carry yourself, and and is like when women looking at you, you just want to be your being, and it's your self image, how you carrying yourself, the light that you shine, and how you walk, and your posture, all of that stuff.
Right. And
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 go ahead, sir.
salute to Ron for that answer, because there's so many gems that Ron dropped in just that short answer. Make sure that you play this back,
Mhm.
because he gave you so much more than, you know, I think you were looking for in this particular question. Let me say this. From my perspective, I come at it from, and this is specific to what you're saying in terms of the thought that IG and dating apps have had irreparable effects on men. So this is why there's a difference, and unapologetically, there's a difference between alphas, role players, and betas. Okay. From the perspective of a go getter, from the perspective of a hunter, IG and dating apps are feeding grounds. There's there's so much food on
Mm,
those particular apps. I have had many coaching clients, that I've assisted them with their dating apps specifically. I've got, programs tailored to designing the type of picture, choosing the picture that will
mhm,
show you in a position that is uh, attractive to
mhm,
a range of women.
mm,
How you pose, what the light looks like, what are you wearing, what activities are you portraying and displaying in those pictures. There's so many elements down to what you're saying. There are certain words and prompts, depending on what particular dating app you're using, that will trigger thoughts in a woman's mind. Remember when we were talking about the power of fantasy? When we look at IG and dating apps, if you recall the example that I gave about planting seeds, These apps give men the ability to plant those seeds visually in terms of your photos, written in terms of your bio and your description. And when you're talking about receiving uh, coaching strategies from the type of man that women would actually pay to be in his presence, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to approach it from the perspective of a hunter.
Mhm.
Okay. And what a hunter does is he sets up a scene, right? Well, let's take a deer hunter, right? He doesn't destroy the environment because that would be uninviting to his targets. He
Mhm.
blends with the environment. See, that's a completely different mindset from someone coming at this angle with IG and the dating app saying that it's had an irreparable effect. We affect those apps. Our presence is felt on those apps. When you talk about there being a top 5% of men who are actually benefiting from these apps, I am of the perspective that all men, yes, I'm saying this now, all men can benefit from those apps. Here's
Okay.
why I say that.
Mhm.
Because even if you're meeting women or seeing women or approaching women in real life at bars, at school, at the bus stop, at the train station, just throughout your day, you still won't experience the range of engagement that you're offered on these apps.
Mhm.
What these apps offer you is an obstacle course. It allows you a virtual environment that where you can get real reaction and so that you can progress your approach, right? Without being in an actual space. I think that being rejected on these apps is great. I think
Mm.
that interacting with bots on these apps is great. I think that being solicited to go into an OF model's funnel on these apps is great. Why would you say that?
Yeah, why?
Because you need experience
Mm.
engaging with a variety of women with different agendas. This
Mm.
is why we say, in order for a man to have experience to be considered to have experience with women, he needs to experience between 30 and 50 women. You're proving our point. You're proving our point as to why a man needs to interact and engage with multiple women in order to call himself as having experience with women. Because on the dating app, because if you're sliding into DMs on Instagram, these are both very controllable dynamics. You curate your presentation on the dating app. You curate how you present on IG, the lifestyle elements that you display. There's so many things that are in your control. You are definitely in control of that environment.
Mm.
And when you cite various statistics, thank you for citing statistics. Next time, just cite your source as well. But when you cite these statistics, you're looking at it from the perspective of the men who see rejection as a loss. Now, let me give you the perspective of men who see rejection as a learning experience.
Mhm.
If you've ever played a sport, if you've ever played football, if you've ever played basketball, tennis, baseball, you're going to miss. You're going to be blocked. You're going to have in basketball, you're going to have takeaways, right? You're going to have block shots. Do you just stop? Do you leave the court? Or do you practice more? Do you
Mm,
work on your skills? Do you develop your nutrition and your hydration so that you show up better the next time,
mm,
right? Take
mm,
that this is why I say there's a difference between alphas, role players, and betas.
mm,
And I don't know you personally, IG Live, but the mentality that's on display. I hope that you're a role player. Hopefully you're a role player. If we ever have a chance to have a session, I can, understand where this is coming from. But when you look at it from the perspective of someone who is taking these rejections, taking these fake profiles, taking these solicitations to go into an OF model's funnel as practice,
mm,
as refining instances, as the ability to better develop and refine your game. Messaging, sending what type of message conveys your personality while being able to get to the point. Getting the
mm,
phone number and getting off the app in less than 3 messages.
mm.
Okay? Going from where you are now, from hello to the pillow. We say these things for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So the overall takeaway that I want you to have with this particular response to your question. So once again, salute to you for
Yeah.
your donation to the T-Talk Tabernacle. But the overall takeaway that I want you to have from this is that when you develop and apply this thing that we call game, your world expands. Your mentality becomes more enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
Your posture changes. It becomes more straight and more authoritative
Yeah.
because you know something that eventually the women that you desire to acquire a dynamic with will know.
Yeah.
And you know that what that thing is? You know you're gonna make it do what it do. I'll
Yeah.
let me
And let me say one thing.
go for it,
That's
Ron.
the beauty of being on here because I ain't never looked at it like that. I ain't never look at it like the way cousin Tita explained it because now that I think about it, there have been some women I've dealt with who might have seen maybe they might have slid in my inbox or something. So I'm looking at it totally different. But the general way I do it is I just kind of let everything come to me. But then cousin T-Tall just explained how to really use those dating apps. So that's important. See, that's the important thing of how to really approach all of this. Is like all we're all not going to do it the same way, but then
Right.
we getting what we want.
Absolutely.
We getting what we want because I've had some women hit me up like just on Facebook. Hit me
Right.
up. Hit me up. In fact, one man, she fine as hell, look like oh my
What's all that
goodness.
movement back there?
Yeah, exactly. One of those, man. She got those, man. She got that real progression, man. I was like, God damn.
Yes,
Only thing I
indeed.
don't know about her toes, I gotta look at her toes and stuff. But one of the things is because cousin Tito, he looked at it totally different. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you can get it from one master, he gonna look at it one way. I'm gonna look at it another way. The
Absolutely.
honorable pimp guy gonna look at it another way, and then learn from that. Learn from that. But whatever the case, you don't have to be stuck. No matter what, you don't have to be stuck in just one mode. I mean, you want to learn something from these different types. And then ultimately, you still want to get that experience. That's the main thing. You want to get
Exactly.
that experience. You want to learn that. All right.
Get those repetitions. Get those repetitions, especially if they reject you. Especially if you're, in that chat, in that DM, and
Hmm.
she is, you know, um, you know, playing cat and mouse with you.
Hmm.
Sit
Yeah,
in that
get
now.
things, get that experience.
Exactly, some seasoned vets that we don't play like that. But
Yeah, now there is one woman on IG. I'm still thinking of she actually responded to me one time. I said
Mhm,
something. She responded to me.
mhm,
And there's a couple that have done that. But
yeah,
it was how I did it. It was how I said something, you
right,
know? It's how I said something. It's like, but you learn that. You figure that out. You
right,
don't come on, you kinda like what they doing. Like one, I would say as fine as she is, she's more on the intellectual side.
mhm,
So that's what I hit her with. And she responded to a comment I made. Another one, big on working out. And she actually commented when this was during COVID when I was working out at home. She said something.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, no, and really, there can be an entire show dedicated to dating apps, social media,
mhm.
versus in real life,
Yeah,
because
I'm
there's
not big
so
on
many
dating apps.
elements. You say what?
I'm not big on dating apps,
Uh,
like I said.
listen, and to an extent, I understand, and I can appreciate that because you have so much success in real life. You have so much success and wonderful experiences, looking and meeting and being introduced to a variety of women in the real world. So these are just tools. Like I said, these are tools for your toolkit, skills for your
Mhm.
skill sets. I think this is a statement, but I think it's interesting that he or they placed this here. Smooth to Smooth says, wife of 13 years filed for divorce. Sorry to hear that. I tried to win her back, but she doesn't want me. I'm meeting women who are choosing me, but I'm struggling to move on because I still find my wife more attractive. Definitely go to counseling, get some the therapy, because if first of all, I don't know the specifics of your situation, so I don't know what your background is. I don't know, what type of therapeutics or treatments that you may have received in the past. However, what it sounds like is that you didn't allow yourself to have a secret garden. It sounds like
Mhm.
you gave 100% when you should have only given 85 to 90. Okay.
Mhm.
And this is coming from a twice married man. Okay. So trust me when I say, if you did not keep something for yourself,
Mhm.
you've lost yourself in that person and relationship. So
Yeah.
if and when that person and relationship transition and move out of the season of what the dynamic used to be, you lose yourself.
Mhm.
And that is the number one thing that we teach. You must first come to know yourself, then come to love yourself, then
Mhm.
come to appreciate yourself before you can apply those dynamics with another person, coming to know
Okay.
the other person, coming to appreciate the other person, and coming to love that other person. Because can you really say that you love and appreciate and know another person without being able to say that for yourself? Okay.
Mhm.
Let's see. That's funny. Yeah, a lot of people are definitely on dating apps who have no clue uh, what they're
Well,
doing.
I would say this, if you're gonna get on dating apps, and I'm saying this as somebody who ain't big on that, learn what to do. Learn how to
Yes,
win on it.
yes. Give it
Because
a
you can win on it because you for whatever reason you try and get on there, so you gotta figure it out. It's like, okay, I'm not getting this many swipes. Let me do something different. Let me change my picture. Let me change what I'm saying, and you can get that. Like I said, I did Bumble a few years ago, and
mhm,
I wasn't even serious. I ain't put the picture I put was half-assed
mhm.
and all that.
Yeah,
But
and I think they changed the algorithm since then.
yeah, they might have. I
Yeah,
don't know, but
yeah.
how many women like hit me up? maybe about 5, 6, 7. I don't even know, but whatever. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Now, if I was taking it more serious, I would take better pictures
Mhm.
and take better pictures, better presentation, say more. I would learn. Like whatever you do, no matter what you do with women, period, you learn from experience. It was like if you're not getting attention wearing your clothes a certain way or letting the barber bless you or having a certain body build, you use that as experience. It's like, okay, this ain't working for me. Let me do something different and figure out what works for you. Because everybody got a style, everybody has a signature. What's your
Absolutely.
signature clothing? What's your signature style? Because women, they open. Like you get a bunch of Bamas who think women only looking for one type of guys. Like, no, because the same woman, she could have sex with that like totally muscular guy who got only a small percentage of body fat, but then let some big old dude tear her up.
Right.
Yeah, I've known some big men, big old dudes. I know this one woman, she had sex with this big old dude right away, and she was fine as hell.
Right. And it's all about developing your presentation and
Hmm.
understanding what your value proposition
Yeah.
is to the type of women that you are looking to entertain in your
Yeah.
space, to have an engagement with, an exchange with. So definitely get coaching. Absolutely get coaching. Have a mentor who can guide you on your path of mastery because like Rom said, that's why we do that. That's why
Yeah.
we do what we do and put these conversations out there so that guys can begin to have some type of structure with how they approach the mating, dating, and relating space. There are
Yeah.
not enough competent, experienced, mature, and wise coaches and mentors of this thing that we call game. We were
No.
fortunate enough to have mature men in our lives who introduced us to this thing called game, put us on the
Hmm.
path of masculine mastery. And so recognizing that there is a shortage of men capable of successfully providing this role for other men and younger men and older men, uh, just across the spectrum, gives us more motivation to uh, do these types of presentations and have these conversations with men who see the value in that. Speaking of value, don't forget to like, subscribe, forward this
Hmm.
conversation to someone who you know needs it because this is that thing we call game. Really quick, and this may be its own show. I'll say this before we get back to the topic of settling down versus choosing up. Andre 420 Reform says, Cousin T, have you ever tried to make friends with women you ain't trying to mess with? No, I've been trying to do that, but I'm always tempted. Here's really quick, really quick. There has to be so first of all, this goes back to discovering who you are and understanding your value as a man. Your masculine light serves as food for a woman.
Hmm.
And when you the way that you form this question assumes that a woman can provide value to you as a friend. Now, I don't know what it takes for you to qualify someone as a friend, but it takes a lot for me to qualify someone as a friend. Okay, Rom's definitely a friend,
Hmm.
um, and this is over years. Okay, it
Hmm.
takes years for that designation to be applied. So when you talk about just meeting someone and making a friend, you got to be very thoughtful and guarded with
Yeah.
how you present that opportunity to random women. Now I
Yeah.
understand. It sounds like you may be slightly younger, maybe in your 20s, when you said I've been trying to do that, but I'm always tempted. That right there shows a lack of maturity and a lack
Mhm.
of appreciation for the value that you possess. Women know uh, that men have inherent value, that our value is beyond just our labor and what we
Mhm.
can provide in terms of provision and protection. Women know that our presence, our masculinity, our wisdom, our leadership, there's so many other intangible qualities that are of extreme value that most men can be benefited by through having coaching sessions with coaches and mentors of this thing that we call game, that will allow you to recognize, like we always say, your value, recognize who you truly are, recognize how to build your world, recognize who to afford the privilege of entering your world, and how, most importantly, to um, develop guards, safeguards, and boundaries around you and your world. Now, Ram, jumping back, jumping back into the discussion of settling down versus choosing up. I'm going to throw some words out here,
Okay.
and I want you to let me know what you think. I'm going to say them. I'm going to say them all first, and then we'll go through them
Okay.
one set at a time. All right.
Okay.
When I think about choosing versus settling,
Okay.
I think about cooperation versus contempt. I
Mm.
think about respect versus resentment. I
Mhm.
think about passion versus pity. I think
Mm.
about fulfillment versus fake love.
Mm.
And lastly, I think about clarity versus charity, right?
Okay. Okay.
So, first of all, on the topic of choosing versus settling, choosing up versus settling down, what are your thoughts on the difference between cooperation and contempt?
My thoughts is like if a woman really wants you, she choosing you, she automatically cooperating. But if she's settling though, there's a part of her that doesn't want to be with you. She's dealing with you for whatever reason. Like this gentleman on here, he's talking about they settle more due to their biological clock. It ain't always about their baby. Because you can get a woman who is 40, she already had a kid, she's settling. And then you get some women who don't want to settle. But when you talk about, just for a baby or whatever, but when you talk about, like they choosing up, they automatically cooperate. They want to help you out. They want to be in cooperation with your operation if they're choosing you. If you're choosing you. But if they not choosing, they settling. They might have a little contempt for you because usually if they settling, it's because the man is chasing them, trying to be with them, taking them out to dinner or something. And then the woman, she might deal with him because she ain't getting with the man that she's really choosing, or he ain't choosing her back. He's not obliging her back.
Right. That's a
So so
wonderful
that's the
point.
thing. So, the woman who's choosing you, she gonna make it easy for you. She gonna make it automatic. She gonna cooperate with you automatic. She might even tell you she wants to help you out.
Right. And
But
she's gonna prove it.
yeah, she gonna do it. She gonna do whatever she can to help you out. She gonna be right there for you. She's automatic. It's an automatic click. Like you remember that young lady I went out with for a while when we've had
Summit? Yeah, absolutely.
that first summit. You
Mhm.
remember how when I was signing books and she just jumped right in. She was taking
Mhm.
the money and stuff
Mhm.
while I was signing the books. That's cooperation.
Immediate cooperation. Absolutely.
Immediate, it wasn't nothing. I ain't had to ask her, but she was choosing because I like how she did it because she came fixed up, and that was an interesting situation. She made it so that I had to take her back home.
You had
I
to
had to be the one
oblige.
because she was
Absolutely.
choosing. She came ready, but
Mhm.
she automatically just jumped in. You picked up. I remember you picked up on that. She was automatically doing stuff. Now, if it was a situation I was chasing her or she didn't really want me, oh, she probably would have been like, "Oh, okay, good meeting you. I'm on my way home."
Mm. These are facts. These are facts. Shout out to Isaiah. Isaiah B7956 with the deuce. Women are naturally chaotic. We are their light. Absolutely true.
Yeah,
Absolutely
we
true.
bring order. We bring order.
Shout out to Joe Blast. Was good. What did she say? He said, if she settled, you wore her ass down. That ain't no victory.
Yeah. And some
Absolutely.
women actually, I've heard some women say that. They say, "Yeah, he wore me down" or something. It was like she just settled for him. That's the worst thing. If a woman ever tell you that, the most you can get from her is maybe you may can get some sex. You ain't even getting her best sex. She might give you some pancake sex or something.
Right.
She ain't giving you her best, and you shouldn't even want that. You shouldn't even want that. You don't want that pancake sex. You want her damn near attacking you, being wet. Just she
Yeah.
getting more happy to be with you. You sitting there chilling. Shoot, you might be sitting down. She giving you that cowgirl or something. You just twiddling your thumb. Actually, did that with one woman. I'm twiddling my
Absolutely.
thumb. She doing her thing.
Absolutely. Cooperation comes with evidence.
Yeah.
As you presented, at the first summit, that was a great example of immediate cooperation. Not only
Mhm.
there, but later on when we went to the club.
Mm.
It was a wonderful weekend. Wonderful weekend. Shout out
Yes.
to you for that. Let's see. Oliver says, if I sense that a woman is settling for me, I'm out of there. She needs to see me as him. Ain't no other way for me. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
true,
I
true.
agree with that. And let's keep in mind when we talk about these two words, cooperation versus contempt. When a woman settles down,
Mhm.
the contempt comes in because they feel like
Mhm.
they're not worthy of a man that they would choose.
Mhm.
And so we see this a lot when men talk about their baby mamas,
Mhm.
right? When a woman looks at the son, she sees that man.
Mhm.
When she looks at the man that she settled for, she sees herself in the type of man that she was able to get with, as
Mhm.
opposed to the type of man that she really wanted to get with.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
where the contempt comes in.
Yeah, yeah, and you get a lot of women, they have that. A lot of guys are with a woman, she really didn't want them, and that contempt really comes in.
Absolutely.
You want that
Next,
co Go ahead.
yeah, no, absolutely. Next two words: respect versus resentment. Respect
It's
versus
the same
resentment.
thing. It's the same thing. Like I've said several times, you rather have a woman's respect than her love. You need that respect. She going to respect the man that she chooses, but she's going to have some resentment about the man she settles down with because she didn't really want to settle down. I mean, you just went over it. She didn't really want to be with him. She's just with him for whatever reason. It could be survival. It could be whatever subculture they in, social class. She just marrying him. She didn't really want to marry him. She really wanted this other guy, you know? And trust me, whatever mistake he make, whatever that he does, oh, it'll get magnified because women, they'll hold on to
Great
something
point.
for a long time.
Great point.
They will hold on to something for a long time. But a man they really want to be with, oh, he got to really try hard to like make her resent him. He got to work hard. he can damn near hold a gun to her head and she'll find a way to forgive him if she really wants to be with him.
No,
You
absolutely.
know?
There's no substitute for respect. There
Nah.
is no
You want
substitute
you
for
want that.
Mhm. Because and this is another reason why those who are in the audience and those who listen to the restream are benefited by the wealth of experience that you have here.
Mhm.
When you talk about men who have been in almost every type of relationship dynamic, including
Mhm.
it up to marriage,
Mhm.
the things that come with marriage.
Mhm.
Oh, I got stories. Oh man,
I got some
I
stories
got
too.
story. All right, vulnerability time. Right, I'm going to give you one story. I'm gonna give you one story, and I really enjoy telling this story. Shout out to my ex. Nothing but love.
Mhm.
And so first marriage, very young, 25. Did not know who I was. Did not have a sense of purpose, mission, planning. My game was weak. Let's be honest. High school crush met up. Obviously a little bit after we had gotten some years past school, and so I'm like, oh man, I've always wanted to hang out, date, whatever. I
Mhm.
did know about vetting. I did not know about self development. I did not know about all of the things that are required before entering into a committed relationship and or marriage. Fast forward. We are married. We're both in our 20s. And we would carpool. She would drive me to the train station so that I could take the train to work. Okay. And on the passenger side, I'm looking at her. I'm watching her do her hair and makeup in the rear view in the mirror, the drop down mirror, as she's driving. And we're in rush hour, right? Rush hour traffic. So it's slow, which is why she thinks that this is okay. I look at her and I'm like, what are you doing? Why aren't you focusing on the road? She's like, don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. I do this all the time. I did not follow up with that because I did not understand my role as protector includes protecting her from herself.
Mm.
Okay. So this happens again. We're in the vehicle going towards the train station. She's doing them bangs. You know about those bangs. You know, she got to put them bangs down, right? All of a sudden, smack, she rear ends a guy in front of us. And that the impact was so great, his bumper came off and there's
Mm.
damage to the front of our vehicle. Now, she didn't respect what I said a few days before enough to do it. She did not respect it.
Mm.
Here's the outcome. And guess who has to get out and deal with the man who jumps out of the car that she just rear-ended?
Mm.
This guy.
Mhm.
And guess who has to call off the work to take the damaged vehicle to the mechanic?
Mhm.
Guess who has to deal with the insurance? Guess who has to calm down the terrified wife
Mhm.
and keep the house going, right?
Mhm.
This is why we preach game.
Mhm.
This is why we preach having a program. This is why we preach the vetting process. This is why we preach having an understanding of masculine and feminine dynamics. Especially when you promote a woman to the highest position, first lady, wife, she better respect you.
Mhm.
She better respect your leadership. She better respect your vision above all of the things. Because when you give her a command, when you give her an objective, when you give her something to do and she does not do it, there can and will be dire consequences. It's a domino effect. But how would you know that if you've only dated one woman before you got married? How would you know that if you've only dated 5 women before you got married? How would you know that if you've not dated a variety of women and have been under the tutelage of a mentor and or coach in this thing that we call game? So respect over resentment every day of the week. Next one, Rob. We got passion versus pity.
Man, you know, you got to have passion. If that woman shows you she's passionate for you, pity, that's one of the worst things. Yeah, there's plenty of women who had pity sex with a man, or they dealing with him and they feeling bad for him. But that's that pancake sex. You want that passion. You want her like fired up. You want her having that lingerie, like walking around. You know, it's like you want her to want you. You want her to be excited when she see you naked. You want her. You don't want her to. You don't want to have that pity sex that she just having for um, just obligation or something, just to keep it good. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you did something. Let me give him something real quick. Let him do the business. And she ain't even into it. Her eyes ain't rolling in the back of her head or something. She thinking about her grocery list. She might be thinking about that man she really want to be with. No, you always want that passion. See, that's the thing. She settled down. If she settles down with you, it's going to be pity sex and pity just period at one point. She choosing up, you always going to get that passion. And you just gotta keep it going. You gotta switch it up. Like we were talking about in that live stream we did for about talking about the fantasy, right?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like you want to have that passion. It shouldn't even be a question. Like you get some guys, they get some sex or they get that pity thing from a woman. That's one of the worst things. And some women get caught up. Some women might have gave some man some pity sex or something and then got pregnant and then, whatever. In fact, I've heard of some women say the man trapped them with a baby. I knew this young lady, she was from Kenya, and she
Mm.
said this guy was trying to get her pregnant. And it was like, come on now. Come on now.
Let's be
But
honest.
she wasn't choosing up on this particular guy. Because, you get some of these women, they'll still deal with a guy, he chasing her enough and she can't really get the guy she want. That's really what it come down to. But they still want that hot beef injection. Or, a guy did all this and she says, Glenn, let me just give him some. And then it's some other trouble or something. And then that's when you get like that resentment in there, that contempt. That all those other things start coming in there.
Yes.
Because so far all this stuff is really connected. It ain't separate. It ain't,
Yes.
all this other stuff. She had that pity as soon, or she give you that look. Like she gave you, there's two looks she can give you. It's that good look where she just lusting you. She ready to make love to your shadow, have sex with your shadow right there. And
Yes.
then there's that look like once you just disappear, like if you act like you don't want to have sex with her, she don't care. She can be in a sexless relationship with you or something. But that's because she ain't really want you. In
This is
fact,
correct.
that's a lot of sexless marriages and stuff. The woman just settled for you.
Yes. And let's be clear. Let's be clear about this. Coming from a man who has the experience of women getting this ticket, okay, either from a friend, from an online vendor, from a person that knows a person that knows a person, or an invite to a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
divorce party, a bachelorette party, a promotion party, anniversary, whatever. She knows what's going to happen at this event. She knows what to expect. She just doesn't know how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
She's anticipating this night.
Yeah. Go ahead for a second. I got to step away for a
Absolutely.
second.
She's looking forward to this evening out. And so she is going to go shopping. She's going to buy a new dress or a new outfit that matches, new shoes. She's going to bring out that special handbag from the back of a closet, the one that she likes to show off so that she can stunt on the other women. The night of the event arrives. She is excited all day at work. She has whispered to her female coworkers about this event that's taking place tonight. She's gotten her ticket. She's collaborated with her girlfriends. She has the address. She has the Uber Black ordered. The car arrives. It picks her up. It brings her to the venue. The doorman, the security at the door, checks her ID and checks her ticket number to make sure it's valid. Once that's clear, she's allowed access into the venue. As she walks into this venue, the lights are dim. There's a spotlight. There's music playing. There's women there that are excited to be there, that are screaming. There's bottles of champagne all around being popped. There's Hennessy. There's Don Julio. There's all types of party favors. This woman has just entered a space of fantasy, a space of excitement, a space of sensuality. She's just entered into the realm of exotic entertainment. And this is even before the main event takes place. Now, understanding this, what a woman brings to an event like this is a wonderful example of the type of passion that she's capable of generating.
Mm-hmm.
She paid money to be there.
Mm-hmm.
She paid money for a new dress. She paid money for nice shoes. She paid money for that handbag that she's going to show off with her girlfriends. All for the privilege of making it rain that paycheck that she made at her office job on the type of man who is capable of bringing these sets of emotions out of her. The type of man that is capable of making her shake with anticipation. Don't let her be the lucky contestant that gets brought up on stage during a routine. And she sat in that chair. Whipped cream is placed in front of her. Oh, we ain't gonna go there. This YouTube. Y'all got to go to the Patreon to get the real stuff. However, what I am exemplifying is the standard night in the life of a male exotic entertainer. Women pay for the privilege of our presence. And just for the momentary satisfaction of having a fantasy scene play out before them, they are willing to pay hand over fist to be at that energy, to release their inner inhibitions, to show the true passion that other men are not capable of bringing out. Now, when we talk about developing this thing we call game, and specifically when you're dealing with a seduction coach, what we do is, well, and a body coach, of course, what we do is we look to maximize and highlight and showcase the type of masculine qualities that can bring that passion out of a woman. Can you imagine a woman sitting in her cubicle, fantasizing about seeing you on a Friday night,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
coming through to your spot,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing exactly what it is that she has in store?
What's up, man?
Shout out to Ron Wales. He's famous for saying dragging the mattress into the living room. Right? Listen. When we talk about passion versus pity, in terms of a woman who has settled down versus choosing up, you have to recognize that it starts and ends with you, the man. Who are you? Who have you presented to this woman as the value? Right? Because all women want passion, even if it's just a quickie, even if it's just something that is a fly by night, even if it's something that is routine. What is better than routine passion? I'm going to take routine passion over fly by night pity any day of the week. This is the mentality that we want you to take away from this particular stream. You have to adjust your mindset. You have to evaluate who you are as a man.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to put in the work that is required to put yourself in position to win.
Yeah.
You have to be able to put in the work in developing who you are inside so that you are happy and content with yourself, that you find solitude in yourself. Shout out to Pimp God.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
To be able to exist in the bliss of yourself before projecting that out and presenting a woman that you desire the opportunity for her to enter into that space. Ron, we got two more left before we get out of here. The first one of the two is fulfillment versus fake love. What are your thoughts?
Fulfillment. See, here's the thing. When a woman choosing you, she's being fulfilled. That's who you want. But see, when it's fake love, she's just going along with it. See, that's one of those situations where I say you need to double back home because she'll just give you just enough to keep things going until she run into the man she actually want. And it's not going to be because he got more money or whatever that she got a real desire for. It could be that man hopping the fence as soon as you go to work. It could be whatever. It could be like, unfortunately, you got these teachers up here getting with these young guys. That's because they are choosing up on the young guys. How's a young guy going to seduce an older woman? Like these women, these the women who get with the men they want, but see, they'll have that other guy that they'll just go along with. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I love you," but they don't have any passion or anything in their voice. They don't have that natural cooperation. They don't have that natural respect.
Yes, indeed.
So you want to have she wants to be fulfilled. She wants to be with her because even on a deeper level, if a woman's fulfilled, she can share that deep with somebody. She can share it as long as you taking care of your business with her. Shoot, she might call up one of her buddies to help out. I remember I was
Yes,
working with
indeed.
this older brother, elder man. When I was in my early 20s, this dude was in his 70s and stuff. He said we joked around with him. We said he had so much energy, he probably tearing his wife up. He said, yeah, sometimes he'll have her call a friend up. Just like, oh, snap.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing though. As long as she needs to be fulfilled. When she's fulfilled, shoot, she might call up, she might bring a buddy of hers in and say, "Hey, why don't you take care of her? You taking care of me?" And that's what women want. Like when you talk about polygynous relationships, polyamorous relationships, ethical non-monogamy, as long as you taking care of her, she don't mind sharing. Sure, she don't mind. You can bring another woman in as long as she's fulfilled. See, that's a major issue with a lot of women. They ain't really fulfilled by their man on
Right.
many levels. They ain't fulfilled. So, and they looking for it. In their eyes, only a small percentage of men can truly fulfill them.
Right.
And like I said earlier, it's not what a lot of guys are promoting, just one type of look or whatever. It's really energy. They looking for that energy. See, they looking for that masculine energy from a man, a certain energy. And, different types, on the outside, different types of men can bring it. But that's the one common denominator. In fact, masculine energy, that's the highest level of energy that a woman is looking for.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And before I give my response to these two prompts, fulfillment versus fake love, let's shout out Will Trigoso. Shout out to you, Will Trigoso. Cousin T, you taught me a masculine man. They know themselves. They have been put in many scenarios in getting the best, like the dime, and not settle. Absolutely, Will. Absolutely, to all who are listening. That's part of masculine mastery, not settling. Settling is a mentality. Settling,
Mhm,
in case you haven't gotten it, over the course of this particular stream, make sure you go back so that you can get the details of this stream.
mhm,
Basically, the key difference between settling down and choosing up is the mentality of the people
mhm,
involved.
mhm,
See? And so when we talk about fulfillment versus fake love, I really have to remind those who are in the audience and who are listening on the restream that you're dealing with men who have backgrounds and credentials. Now, Ram, he has those professional credentials, right?
mhm.
He's got titles, all right? He's got
Yeah.
titles. Now, uh, your man cousin T, I do deep research, and one of the things that I will always do is bring you another book besides the number one book, The Seduction Scriptures. This book today is called Why Women Have Sex. Okay, I know that this has been referenced in a few other spaces. This is by Cindy Meston and by David Buss. Now, in this book, they qualify more than 200 reasons why they say women have sex. Okay, this is
Mhm,
from interviewing women and getting research from many college campuses and from experiments uh, and scenarios. What I will say in terms of a woman who has settled versus a woman who has chose,
mhm,
she wears her fulfillment on her like a badge of honor.
mhm.
She wears her fulfillment
Yeah.
on her like a badge of honor.
Yeah, say that again, man. Dude, you can tell when a woman is there. When a woman, like, if you can really read a woman, like I talk about that, you can tell when she's happy. You can tell when that woman is really fulfilled. You can tell when she's with a man that she chose. Like you can see it. You can see it in their movement, how they move, how they walk, how they smile, whatever. Like you can always tell. Like I would always ask a woman, she looking real happy. I say, you either pregnant or got a new man. Sometimes it's both, but they show it. They show that energy because they fulfilled. They are
Yes.
fulfilled. And once you can recognize that, you can see a lot. Like one of the things, and this comes from experience, is really learning how to read women. And you might be some books out there can tell you something, but the best way is just to experience them, to pay attention to them, listen to what they're saying, pay attention to their movements. Like you can tell when a woman getting stroked. You can tell when she getting stroked good, when she getting stroked well. If you paying attention, unfortunately, there's too many guys out there can't really do that.
Absolutely.
It
Let's be
is what
clear.
it is.
Let's be clear. When a woman is in a space of fulfillment,
Mhm.
there is nothing, there is nothing that she won't do
Mhm.
to maintain that space.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
is nervous. She is cautious.
Mhm.
She she is asking questions all the time. Is this
Mhm.
okay? Well, what do you think about this?
Mhm.
Did you need something? Oh, what
Mhm.
else can I do for you? How you
Mhm.
feeling? Have you eaten? Did you
Mhm.
get the anticipation of what it is that um, will satisfy you
Mhm.
is at the forefront of her thoughts because when she has chosen up on a
Mhm.
man
Yes.
who she can brag about,
Mm.
if we can go back to IG for a second, you look through the profiles of women who are in relationships. A lot of women on IG are in relationships you would never know.
Yeah.
You would never know.
Yeah.
She barely
I can think
right,
of one in particular, man, because she got
right.
those fat thighs which save lives, man. I had to go deep to find her with somebody. Didn't hardly see his picture, but then she got somebody new. See that dude's pics on there all the time. She makes sure everybody know they
Right.
together.
Right. They wear fulfillment on
Mhm.
them as a badge of honor.
Yeah,
Don't let
that's
them
how
lie
you
to
know.
you.
Yeah.
Don't let women lie. Women will lie and try to deceive people and to believing that they don't need a man.
Mm.
Oh, a man is an accessory. Oh, he's not the center of her bullshit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you something with these women. They need that man. I don't care how independent they say they are. They say all that stuff. You just be like, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, and then they get that man they choose up on, and shoot, they changing up. They like, I wouldn't do that for a man. All of a sudden, they learning how to cook or something. I wouldn't do that for a man. They sucking his dick. They doing all that stuff, but he has to be a man she's choosing up on. If she's settling for him, yeah, he lucky if he get that starfish sex.
No, absolutely. And another reason why you can't believe what a woman says
Hmm.
is because she can say one thing one minute and you take her at her word and you believe her, and then she completely does a 180, and then you look and you say, well, but I thought you said, and she's gonna, especially if she's talking to you as a man, she's gonna say, well, why would you believe what I was saying? You're a man. Why would you be following a woman, right?
Hmm.
So you have to see her. Okay. You have to see her actions. You have to
Hmm.
see her mood. You have to
Hmm.
see the energy that she brings into the space in order to understand whether or not she's operating out of fulfillment or fake love.
Hmm.
Now, fake love can be its own topic of discussion for an entire stream, okay?
Hmm.
And how that look, it's a whole industrial complex of its own. All right, fake love, right? If she always has to, you know, bring others in when she in order to tolerate you, if there
Hmm.
has to always be another activity happening in
Hmm.
order for her to be in your presence, if she's not comfortable just being with you, sitting with you in your presence, no uh, steak dinner, no
Hmm.
pasta and lobster, no designer bags being purchased, no being flued out. Okay. Just you,
Hmm.
just you and your light. That's
Hmm.
how you know that a woman is existing in her fulfillment. Finally, this
Hmm.
last prompt, clarity versus charity in terms of when a woman is settling down versus choosing up. What do you think?
Well, there's gonna be clarity. When she wants you, she knows she wants you. She ain't selling for you like charity. Like that's up there with that pity thing. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, he doing all this nice stuff, spending all this money. Let me give him some. Let me deal with him, and then get stuck. But when she wants you, she don't have to think about it too long. She knows she wants you. She don't have to like she got that clarity. Nobody has to say, oh, he a good guy or something like that. She knows it. She don't have to like one of those situations because you get some women they'll get with the guy and say, "Oh, he's a nice guy, ain't he?" You know, their friends might say something. No, she knows she wants you. That's clarity. She
Yes.
knows she wants. She don't. You don't have to do anything. She's choosing. But if she, what was that? What was that word you said? Oh,
Charity.
charity. Man, that's selling down. She's just being nice to you or something like that, and you don't want that. Look, fellas, basically, what we're telling you here is how to consistently get chosen. And you can get consistently chosen by attractive women. That's how you know. That's how you know you select, in fact. You consistently getting chosen, consistently. Yeah, other women are choosing you too, but the attractive ones, the beautiful ones, the ones everybody else chasing, they chasing you. That's how you know. All right.
Let's be clear, and before we get this question real quick, there's so many examples that I can give about this because over my over the range of my experiences personally and through guiding other men through navigating these waters and navigating the path of mastery, there's so many scenarios and so many events that come up with different types of women. I am specifically recalling a PYT uh, that I used to mentor, right? Because those who know and understand my philosophy on PYTs, if you're a mature man, a distinguished gentleman, we don't date PYTs, we mentor PYTs. We bring them along so that there is an education, there is a learning process, not only of who you are, but she is learning herself through you. Anyway, one prime factor that shows that a woman has chosen you through clarity, the clarity of her statements, the clarity of the decisions that she made, the
Mm-hmm.
clarity of how she communicates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a situation because, I am into playlists, Ron, because I'm a musician, right? So I know the value of mood music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing specific music that I've chosen that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And the PYT just happens to be in my place. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, you playing this song again. I'm never going you don't never want me to leave, do you? She's like, do you know that I went out and bought this song, bought
Mm,
this CD or bought the download or whatever, because I heard it with you.
mm,
When you are with a woman that chose you,
mhm.
she wants parts of you.
Yes, yes, definitely.
We got to let that just sit for 2 seconds.
Yes, she wants it.
She wants your sweatshirt.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh.
She wants your cologne, your fragrance.
Mhm.
She wants to smell like you when you're not around.
Mhm.
When we say when the OGs and old schools used to say she love your dirty drawers,
Mhm.
there's a reason why we say
Mhm.
she love your dirty drawers.
Mhm.
She wants to memorize the recipes that
Mhm.
you enjoy.
Mhm.
She starts to like the cars that you like. What
Mhm.
kind of car you got?
Mhm.
I got I got an egg beater.
Mhm.
The egg beater is the most amazing vehicle ever made, according to her.
Mhm.
Ain't
Yeah.
got nothing to do with the car, the brand, the warranty, the tires, and nothing. No, has everything to do with the man that's driving the egg beater.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You on the bus? You got the monthly or the weekly pass? Hold on. I, let me help you out with that.
Yeah.
When she has chosen you, she
Mm-hmm.
chooses everything about you,
Yes.
your interests,
Yes.
your lifestyle elements.
Yes.
She wants to know your friends.
Yes.
She wants to know your family so
Mm-hmm.
that she can get closer to you in a more meaningful way.
Yeah.
Are you into sports? Oh, now she
Mm-hmm.
into sports.
Yeah.
Ain't never watched a game a day in her life.
Yeah. Exactly.
But when there is clarity
Mm-hmm.
because of how she chose you,
Mm-hmm.
there is no doubt that you are the first choice. You are the best choice.
Yes. And that's how you want to be.
And that is the position that you desire.
Exactly.
Now, when we talk about charity, a lot of people talk about the dating market and the relating market being about transactions, right? With charity, you make donations. With charity, you make donations.
Mm-hmm.
And now we compare that to what we always say is the dynamic between a man and woman who desire each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making a donation. You are facilitating an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there is an exchange of intimacy. There's an
Mm-hmm.
exchange of experiences,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you apply this philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
you have a lens and a structure by which to have an understanding about the dynamics that are real and that affect you and that you desire to have the best possible outcomes with.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick, before we cut out, we'll look at this one question. This is Raymond 319. Thoughts on a woman saying they don't show their man on social media because they don't want other women going after him.
Let me answer that real quick.
You got it.
They lying, man. Because women are competitive as hell. If they getting a man, especially if he a fine man, they want everybody to know it. They want to be like, I got him. Bitches, you can't get him. I got him. They will let men. They will let other women know. They want other women to know. So if they saying that, they probably don't have a man. Or he a 12 to 5 man or something like that. Look, man, women be lying, surprise, surprise. But no, if that's a man that they really want and they really down for, they chose, they letting everybody know. They letting everybody know. In fact, they will let their best friends know or something like that. In fact, they want to fuck with some other women's heads. It's like I got them, bitch. You don't got them, you little trifling ass heifer. So if they say some stuff talking about they don't show their man, they probably don't have one, or at least one that they want to be public with.
Indeed.
But nah, if they down for that man, they down for him. They gonna let everybody know. They don't care.
Yes, and this is another reason to have a social media awareness. You don't have to be the most tech savvy person, but in terms of the tools of the modern era, it is a wonderful advantage that you are afforded when
Mhm.
you have a level of savviness in navigating various apps and
Mhm.
platforms
Mhm.
because
Well,
human nature is on full display.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why when you
that-
get with a game coach, that's why when you get with a body game coach, when you get with a seduction coach, when you get with a
Mhm.
lifestyle coach, we can help you navigate the waters of the modern landscape and the
Mhm.
realm of mating, dating, and relating. And so when we talk about settling down versus
Mhm.
choosing up,
Mhm.
we want you to walk away from this discussion more knowledgeable about the position that you currently are in
Mhm.
and the position that you are progressing towards.
Yeah.
Are you in the position of the cleanup man,
Mhm.
the last call guy? Rom,
Yeah.
if you remember being at the club and
Yeah.
the lights start to come up,
Yeah.
last call, people start looking, boy. They turn them lights up and everybody looking around like, oh,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
who here? Who here? It's hot potato time.
Yeah, yeah. You want to know where you at? If you the main one, or you just somebody she just dealing with until she can get with the main one, or the main one returning that text to her. You know,
And we
but
talked
you
about,
want to get to that highest level. That's all we. That's all we saying. Because once you're at that highest level, you got what I consider power. See, regardless of what I talk about, if you look at all of my channels, not even just the relationship stuff, I'm talking about power. That gives you power when you are dealing with the women that you want to deal with. As the Honorable Pimp God would say, the one that you want to oblige, she's choosing. You going to choose whether you're going to oblige her. That's the key.
absolutely, absolutely. And when we discuss a man's position in his world,
Hmm.
we always, 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 always have to focus on him being the center of his world.
Hmm. Yeah.
We've had comments tonight talking about depression or men asking about the concerns for, uh, you know, life ending ideations. We've had comments tonight highlighting the various disparities on various apps and platforms. When you are the center of your world,
Hmm.
you are the focal point for the choices that you make and the women that choose you.
Yeah.
This thing that we call game is a structure and a lens that affords
Mhm.
you the option and the insight and the foresight to view the landscape from the position of someone who can fulfill his desires,
Hmm.
but also understands what it means to fulfill the desires of the type of woman that you desire to acquire.
Hmm.
Everybody, thank you for your participation. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. Once again, Rob's information is scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. Always appreciate your
Yeah.
contributions to the Tea
Yeah.
Talk Tabernacle as well.
Show us
And
some love, fellas. Show us some love.
yes, indeed. Until next time, as always, this is your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying stay sharp and mission focused. Later.